The methodology has evolved greatly over the past several years. It used to be everyone had a landline, and now, over a third of the people do not have landlines, 35% or even higher. And among younger Americans and minorities, it's even much higher than that. So that has evolved, and it's harder to get folks. But also, the methodology has to keep pace with the time, in that you have to be able to not only get those folks, but people aren't answering the phone whenever you went from no caller ID to caller ID. It's always evolving, and there's always research being conducted on what's the best methodology to make sure you get your population. And getting the population, sometimes you go from registered voter lists, but if you're not doing a likely voter poll, you just do a random sample of the population plus cell phones. So your methodology depends on the population you want to look at, and it's ever evolving with technology.
Tom, you've got specific ways of doing it, and yours has been widely either criticized or supported. You've got some great results. You can't argue with that. You've changed some of your methodology. You hear Scott talk. How do you reflect on that? How do you characterize the methodology versus the science of it all?
Well, really, I think what increasingly is changing is there is not one single way you can reach everybody in the American population. It used to be that you could go to everybody's house, and that was how polls were done 50 years ago, door-to-door visits, and you could reach everyone that way. And then for decades, you could reach everybody on a landline telephone. That's just not possible anymore. So we've made a change for 2014 where we're combining traditional landline telephone interviews with also reaching people who don't have landlines over the internet to interview them that way. And we're finding that that helps us to reach younger people in a way that traditional landline calls just doesn't.
Can you be sure of the credibility of the person on the internet, though? Can you vouch for the same credibility if you have somebody on the phone and you can check?
The people who put these internet panels together are pretty painstaking in making sure that these are real people and that sort of thing. And of course, at the end of the day, we still have to do a lot of waiting on the back end to make sure that the people we're polling are representative of the overall population.